Good afternoon, folks. Since I put up the new little greenhouse over here, I've had several people that have asked uh, my take on them putting up a greenhouse or, what I'd recommend and things. And like I've said, this old one here, I bought a kit. And the kit wasn't a whole lot money wise as far as it goes, or especially for what I got as far as I'm concerned, because I got some knowledge out of it. And it was just the pattern to cut, the template to cut the different pieces of lumber and measurements. The guy really had it laid out easy for most anybody to understand. Like I say, this end down here is 12 years old now, and or 13, fixing to be 13, and then I've been extending on it. Looks like the rain's fixing to start back up on me, and it's been a rainy, cool day. We've had inches of rain, and I had been out here working earlier, and I just went in and fixed a big pot of spaghetti and letting it set a bit, and then I'll go in and eat. But one thing on putting up a greenhouse is location, and the more level you can get it, the better off you're going to be, because even like over here with this one, had paid for fill dirt and got it level for a little over 32 foot, but then down on the end down there it drops off, and so I had to do some splicing and all. And unless you're it ain't really mechanical, but knowledgeable about doing some building and construction, I'd recommend having a pretty level piece of ground to build on and getting it squared up. You don't want to have the material to where it won't cover whatever you're doing, and saving on the plastic, because it is not terribly expensive for something that will last, if you buy the right one, 4 years. And then the new greenhouse is I haven't looked up. A friend of mine said the replacement covers aren't much. I don't know. Like I say, I paid $219, but I know they have gone up when I have looked back for it. This one, it wasn't real level over here, but I did it with wood and then did some filling in on the inside, and so there was a gap down here, and like I said, that is wood now, and right now it's pretty solid and pretty tight. I've still not opened the little windows here, but they have a screen in them, which if you have the front part rolled up, the screen ain't gonna do much. Where that would come in handy is, I hate that in my big one, butterflies and mosquito hawks and all kind of little animals get caught in there and can't get out and end up getting cooked and dying. And so anyway, I originally, this one does have in the blueprints and plans and all, had the door and had screen doors on it, and then a screen. Original one, I had a window at 16 foot, and then after the first time I had to change the cover, when I went to 32 foot, I built an end with double doors on both ends for circulation. And this will be the first year that I've got fans in there now, and I'm still going to get some more, and where I can work in it all summer. But location, you don't want it out there under the trees where limbs is going to be falling in it and poking holes in it. And at the same time, you want to consider how hot it gets in your area, wherever you may be. And the limbs, like I said, if you have limbs constantly falling and whatever, or is terribly shaded out, I went ahead and bought the shade cloth, the one up here on the front part. I've had the whole time I've had greenhouses now for over 12 years, and then I went ahead and bought one because of understanding what it was going to happen for the end down there. And there's a section in the middle here where there's no shade cloth. The little one doesn't have any shade cloth, and I'll just wait until the summer and see how it does. With it not having a opening on the end down there, it is going to get extremely hot. But there's things like with putting fans in them and having more airflow, the heat will cook the moisture out of the pots, and you're going to constantly be watering. And I'm going to have to do that this year, but that's just one of the things that is involved in it. The lady, the last one that has asked, well, no, there's been several that have asked. This material that I use is a landscape fabric, and they make ground staples, and I buy them in boxes of 1,000 for about $40 or a little more, 45, something like that. There's all different grades of the landscape fabric, and this time, whenever in the big one here, I put down the white over the top. I never take up the old one. I just cover it again and keep covering. And the landscape fabric, moisture can go through it so it doesn't puddle too bad. There's some places where the earth has got packed down underneath it over the years of me walking, and it does puddle once it gets wet. And anyway, the white reflects the sunlight back up and doesn't accumulate the heat as bad during the winter time or summertime. But things like stacking the black pots around it, they will absorb heat during the day, and so that's just another thing. Plus there's the fringe around this new one, and by setting the pots there, that holds that fringe down to where the air is not getting under it. It came with 4 little ropes and 4 little old sticks, metal anchors, to put out here and tie the rope to. But in this sandy soil I got, they wouldn't have lasted. It was rated for like I think it was 24 to 26 mile an hour winds. I have that all the time, or not all the time. Our average wind is down around 5 daytime, but the storms that we have coming off the Gulf and coming up off the Atlantic, they would take it away. And so I had taken the vinyl stripping that I use, and it's got landscape fabrics about every 2 foot all the way around except where the door is here, anchoring it down. And then I have drove 2x4 stobs, and also have those with the nylon strap holding it down. The nylon strap is something like the edge here of my shade cloth. See, I would just come running out between showers, and so I didn't get. But anyway, this is the strap that I'm talking about, a nylon strap, and I just loop it around the edge, the tubing that they sent with the greenhouse, and then drove the landscape fabric staples into the ground. And so far, with we had gusts of 50 miles an hour, and it still hasn't hurt it. But anyway, if there's any other questions, you can leave them in the comments, and I'll try to answer any questions in the comments on my YouTube channel. Blessings, everyone.